World War I ended at 11 a.m. on November 11th, 1918. The work on the actual peace treaty began in January of 1919 at the Palace of Versailles. The approximately 30 winning nations met at the Paris Peace Conference to officially end the war and to hopefully prevent another war. A major issue underlying the peace conference was the revolutions breaking out across Europe, especially in the former Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires, in Russia, and also in Germany. There was a very real possibility that France and Britain would also be confronted with revolutions as well. Therefore, there was a need to quickly reach an agreement at Versailles. During the peace conference, the Council of Four made the majority of the decisions. The Council of Four included President Woodrow Wilson of the United States, Prime Minister David Lloyd George of Great Britain, Prime Minister Georges Clemenceau of France, and Prime Minister Vittorio Orlando of Italy. The real power in the Council of the Four, however, was actually the Big Three, as Italy did not have really any real influence on the actual proceedings. The Big Three, however, had some major disagreements regarding the treatment of Germany. Clemenceau of France wanted revenge for the complete devastation of France. His goal was to economically and militarily prevent Germany from ever being a threat to France again. As a result of his aggressive determination to destroy Germany, Clemenceau earned the nickname the Tiger. Lloyd George of Great Britain was in a very interesting position. The British wanted Germany to be harshly punished, and Lloyd George was elected on the promise to, quote, make Germany pay. However, Lloyd George also recognized that it was in the best interest of Great Britain for Germany to economically recover quickly. Germany was a major purchaser of British goods, and Germany's recovery would greatly aid British economic recovery. Woodrow Wilson, however, was significantly more lenient on Germany. He advocated for peace without victory through the implementation of his 14 points. Wilson argued that harsh punishment of Germany would cause resentment and likely result in another conflict. Wilson recognized that a major cause of World War I was economic rivalries that were spurred on by imperialism and extreme nationalism. Wilson, however, faced a few difficulties in promoting his goals in Paris. First, he didn't truly understand the issues facing Europe as a result of the war. The USA was thousands of miles away and had faced comparatively little suffering and loss of life. Additionally, the Democratic Party, which was the party Wilson belonged to, lost control of the Senate in 1918 midterms elections. Therefore, Wilson could not claim to have the complete backing of the rest of the United States government or even the people. The agreement that would be worked out looked nothing like the 14 points Wilson so staunchly pursued. The treaty that was developed at the Paris Peace Conference was extremely harsh to Germany. However, Germany had no alternative but to sign the Treaty of Versailles on June 28, 1919. Through the treaty, Germany lost approximately 27,000 square miles of land and 7 million people. Further aspects of the treaty included Alsace and Lorraine were to be returned to France, Eupen and Malmedy went to Belgium, Northern Schleswig went to Denmark, the Saar Valley was to be administered by the League of Nations for 15 years. France during this time would be allowed to use the coal mines here, and at the end of that time, a plebiscite would be determined if France or Germany would control the Saar Valley. A plebiscite is a vote giving people opportunity to express their opinion for or against a proposal relating to a constitutional issue. The Rhineland would be demilitarized. This is the border area between France and Germany. Germany therefore would not be able to defend its entire border. Parts of West Prussia would be given to Poland, giving it access to the sea, and this also served in effect to split Germany as well. The port of Memel went to Lithuania. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk was essentially kind of torn apart. Russia did not receive the territory it gave up back, however. Some of the territory Germany gained in the treaty, Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia, were all given independence. Germany lost its African colonies. These colonies were not given independence, but rather were administered by the League of Nations. Germany's military was also strictly limited. The German army was limited to 100,000 troops, but were allowed to have no tanks or airplanes, and their navy was not allowed to have any submarines. The navy was, however, permitted 6 battleships. Union between Germany and Austria was also prevented. This union is commonly known as Anschluss. And the treaty included the war guilt clause. Germany was forced to accept complete blame for World War I. Due to Germany being at fault, they could be forced to pay reparations for the damage that occurred during the war. In 1921, these reparations were about 6.6 billion British pounds. The payments were reduced later on, but Germany would eventually have to pay what would be about $402 billion by the time it was paid off in October of 2010. An easy way to remember the Treaty of Versailles is the acronym BRAT: Blame, Reparations, Armaments, and Territory. Use BRAT to help jog your memory, but remember you'll need those specific details on the actual AICE exam. Yes, it's a lot, so I definitely recommend using some note cards. The Treaty of Versailles settled things with Germany, but there were other countries on the losing end of World War I as well. Those other nations, Austria-Hungary, Turkey, and Bulgaria, were in a state of chaos after the war. The Paris Peace Conference hoped 4 treaties would clear up any issues that were occurring in the rest of Europe. Heads up, I will undoubtedly pronounce some of these places and names of these treaties incorrectly, so make sure you write them down. First, the Treaty of Saint-Germain was signed with Austria in September of 1919. In this treaty, Austria lost Bohemia and Moravia to the new nation of Czechoslovakia. Dalmatia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina would go to Yugoslavia, which also contained Serbia and Montenegro. Bukovina went to Romania, and Galicia went to Poland. Also, Italy got some land from Austria-Hungary. Italy received Trentino, Istria, Trieste, and parts of South Tyrol. The Treaty of Neuilly, which I know I pronounced wrong, with Bulgaria was signed in November 1919. Bulgaria gave up its land to Greece, Yugoslavia, and Romania. The Treaty of Sèvres with Turkey included the loss of Turkish land to Greece and Italy. Some parts of the former Ottoman Empire went to France, such as Syria, and other parts went to Britain, such as Palestine, Iraq, and the Transjordan area. The treaty also permanently opened up free access to the Dardanelles. Finally, the Treaty of Trianon was signed with Hungary in August of 1920. Hungary lost Slovakia and Ruthenia to Czechoslovakia, Croatia and Slovenia went to Yugoslavia, and Transylvania became part of Romania. I'd also make sure you added all 4 of these treaties and all the information regarding them to your note cards.